Hello again, welcome back to Minivan Adventures. We've had quite a good week this week. Our Galaxy passed her MOT with flying colours. The chap at the MOT station couldn't believe that she was actually 18-year-old. He was convinced that the car was an import. But anyway, we've got an MOT, so work now has to go up a gear now, as we're away in just over 4 weeks' time to the Isle of Skye, hopefully. So today's task is to run the cables in for the leisure battery. So let's have a quick look at the kit that we bought off eBay and let's make a start. Okay, here's the kit that we bought off eBay. Cost me £55 including postage. And in the kit you get the instruction manual, you get the smart relay. This one's got a display on it which displays the battery voltage. Connections are on the back. Fuse boxes, sticky pads, most importantly the cables, and this kit come with all of the crimp connectors already on. So it was worth paying just that little bit extra, so it saved me the hassle of having to put these connectors onto the end of the cables. This is a 4-metre kit. The plan is to run from the battery, which will be under the floor here. It's got to go down the side of the car, under all these panels, right the way to the front bulkhead, and then I've got to get through into the engine bay and up into the battery compartment at the front. First job we need to do is to remove the 2 rear seats. We don't actually need these when you put them back in for the MOT. It's quite a straightforward job. It's a T45 socket. And basically the bolts are down here. That just fits into there. Can't see very well on my phone. There's 4 of those. You unscrew them, lift the seat out, job's a good one. Okay, that's the first seat out. You can see there's quite a bit of depth there in the floor. The simplest way to do it is to set the 2 front bolts out first, and then if you slide the seat that way, take the 2 back bolts out, and then the seat just lifts out. One thing to remember is that you've got little holes in the floor, look. Excuse me. There's like a little locating peg goes in here. So we went to Halfords and got some of these little grommets. So it's just a case of pushing a grommet in the hole. It's much easier when you've got extra hand. Just like that. So basically this just stops any water from coming into the boot space of the car. I'll put the other one in a minute, and then it's just a matter of putting the bolts in the middle ones and tightening them down. So that's that. These 2 outside ones here, they go through the metal frame which holds all of the camping equipment. Right, so I better get this other seat out now. Right, that's the 2 seats out. They'll be stored away in the garage for next year. The seats out of the boot area, quite a lot of space. And the little thing I learnt recently is the seat belts for the rear seats clip into here, but when they're not in use, they actually go in these clever little pocket things up here, out the way. So it's worth noting. So yep, bolts are in. It's gone a bit blurred. They'll have to come out again when I put the frame in, but for the time being I've just popped them in, keep the water out. The middle ones, I've screwed them in a bit further, but again I haven't screwed these fully in because I don't want them to rust up, and then when we come to put the seats back in again, then I'll get the bolts out. So that's that bit. At the back of the boot area there's this huge space that lifts up where the leisure battery's going to sit. It's simply hinged on the carpet, so all I did is I just chopped it off with a Stanley knife. And it's a simple matter of, oh, these are heavy, just dropping the leisure battery in there like that. So plan is to put this in some kind of battery box, and you pull the trim off here. Get the trim off. If you pull the trim away, we've got this bracket bar that's welded into the boot, so I'm going to fit a piece of angle across here, drill the ends out, piece of angle on that side, and then just a bit of threaded bar either side, and that should bolt this battery firmly into this boot space here. Cables will run up here behind the panels down the front of the car. So next job is to take the panels off and see where we're at. Well, I have to say this was an absolute pig of a job. I've had to pull the battery out, the battery box, the air cleaners, right to the back. I've had to pop a hole through the bulkhead underneath the ABS unit at the back of there, put a rubber grommet on. Just hoping this cable's now long enough that comes down here. There's your fuse holder, which will attach to the side of the battery box, and hopefully this will go on the top of there when we put it back in. I'm just rushing now because we were going to go out. So that's the front bit. Cable runs from there. Let's take the glove box out. Comes down here under the trims on the back of the car. I'll pull all the carpets up. These have got to go back in yet. The cable from the battery comes in here. That's the cable to the leisure battery, which comes down to here. There's your fuse holder, and then it'll go into the leisure battery. This side you've got the earth terminal, which is this one. That simply comes under the carpet, bolts into an earth tag in there, and the unit, that should just bolt into there onto those two terminals at the back, and then we'll make a little bracket for it to sit on. So I think I just need to crack on now. That's probably about it. I might come back to this later tomorrow and finish this off.